KL opened in December of 2015, and we still have trouble trying to describe what it is. You know, it is it started off as a piano lounge, and obviously there's a full grand piano behind me, and the idea was to have a sort of a cabaret setting, a singer and an accompanist on a piano, but that sort of grew, and we've had all kinds of stuff happen in this room. We've even had drama, we've had theatre, we've had a little musical, we've had Indian classical dance on this very stage, you know, and we also had my big band Tarakucha here as well. And when that happens, you know, the stage gets expanded. And what I've seen over the last 5 years is that there's been more of an interest in homegrown acts, and also more of an interest in the Malaysian songbook. You know, so we find that the acts that do really well at Bobo tend to be the ones that sort of feature our songs, our material. Right. It's a sentimentality. It is the sentiment. I think you know, these old songs remind people of what we are as a nation, what we set out to be. I think, you know, I would be lying if I didn't think that we are a little bit more fractious as a society, right? And I think there are certain things that really, like food, they really bring everyone together. You know, certain, like for example, nasi lemak belongs to everybody. You know, and some of these songs belong to everybody. You know, like Gitaran Jiwa, that feels like almost like an unofficial national anthem. Right? And the Chinese uncles love it, and you know, the Indian uncles love it. You know, so it's kind of like it surpasses being belonging to a certain race and becomes everybody's. Oh no, I want everyone to come to Bobo. I want all different kinds of age groups. I want all different kinds of bangsa. I want everyone to come to Bobo. You know, so the initial curation of the first couple of years, you know, we were big on all the festivals. Like for Chinese New Year, we'd have a specific Chinese artist, Raya, Deepavali, you know. So the idea was to try and get as many people here and to represent all the different demographics. No, I don't, and I don't think it's. Some people think it's a bit of an atas venue. I don't think so. You know, there's no dress code, for example. We like you to, you know, to be snazzy and to represent yourself, but we don't frown upon shorts, for example. You know, so I like to think it's a very welcoming environment. Yeah, it was very hard. So Baby Grand Productions has other projects, not just Bobo KL. You know, so Baby Grand manages Tarakucha, the big band. And so there were challenges from the Baby Grand perspective, but obviously major challenges with Bobo KL, and we were contracted at the time, you know, to do the monthly curation for Bobo KL, even though, you know, it looks like we own it, but at the time we were just contractors, and it was very difficult, you know, because everything was closed, right? And so there was a start over the last year, MCO, CMCO, RMCO, and for us, when we opened again in September during RMCO, that was actually, I saw a lot of hidden blessings from the pandemic, you know, certain ways that we had no choice but to upgrade certain systems. Like for example, it's now a government requirement that you can't just turn up and buy a ticket at the door or pay a cover charge. It actually has to be ticketed. You know, so that forced us into identifying, looking for a company that we could work with. We have been affected by the pandemic because we can't have audiences, you know, so we are in, and if you aren't able to do some of the stuff that you set out to do, then you have to be in conversation with Cindana, and they obviously understand that everyone's going through a similar tough year. Desperation was the key motivation, because you know, there's no revenue coming in. We have all these projects that suddenly have to be frozen, and that also means that there are other people who are depending on us to cari makan, right? And
people are like the band.
The freelancers that we engage, either through Bobo KL or through our own initiatives like Tarakucha. The Tarakucha is a big band, and there's at its core, it's 17 people on stage. Okay, so all these people depend on us putting on shows. right? We're not their sole cari makan, but it's part of the freelance escape. I think also our category, the arts organization, you know, there was a lot of stuff that we have to justify. How many people are you employing? You know, so it's not just about a company. It's not just about an artist, right? And so I think trying to be fair and trying to portray that in our application was difficult. And further to that, so yes, we've been given this money, but it's also very specific what we can spend it on. You know, so all the spending has to be approved. We did a pilot season of 8 episodes for Bobo Studio.
Okay.
And what we did was we created something called a video gig, which is a very we don't believe that anything online needs to be too long, right? And the stuff that I was seeing during the pandemic was kind of like a bit unfocused and just went on forever, right? In terms of the live music pivot online. And so what we decided was we would do these little mini shows, roughly about 15 minutes long, where we would feature different artists. And they would do 3 songs, and then we would do a little interview, and we would interview everyone, the whole band. And we felt that this was enough of a bite-sized offering, you know, for our online audiences. And the idea was to do as many as we could, you know, feature as many people, as many ages, veterans, newcomers, and as many races, and to start this sort of a library of these video gigs. The idea with Bobo Studio is that you know, to do anything of quality, it costs money, right? And we don't like asking for freebies. We did for that one pilot season, but the idea moving forward was to definitely get a corporate sponsor. And because it's online, it's very visual. I definitely think that a lot of people take it for granted in terms of, like, you know, the entertainment, the arts industry, that, oh, you know, they're fine. You know, that there's no difference to other industries, but it's definitely, it doesn't help when we get labels like being, you know, non-essential. But you know, it's interesting over the pandemic. If we were really non-essential, then turn off your Netflix, turn off your radio. You know, that's all art. That's all entertainment. You know, so I think, you know, in terms of like audiences and ordinary people, everyone kind of. There is a level of appreciation. It's just the decision makers. It's the people, you know, who are in a position to turn things around that are a bit sort of hesitant and don't see the immediate value.
Why do you think that's so? Or how? What do you think?
Oh, it's a product of everything, of the education system, of the government, of just priorities that we do or do not grow up with.